Hi, we are from Group 9. My name is Patricia binti Cik Muhammad Nuzi. My metric number is H2182792. In this task given, I'll be taking part of number 1 and number 2 question. For number 1, the question required student to develop a frequency table for math and English score, which is in a percent and cumulative percent frequency column. So in this question, I have been developed two table for two different subjects. Firstly, for math, the data is already given in a random way. So to make it easier for me to run the calculation part, I just arrange them in order, which is the most lowest to the most highest number. The lowest number is 552 and the most highest number is 712. This is the first table for math frequency. For the frequency table, we see the frequency of each number. If the number is appear more than 1, then the frequency will be changed. And how do I calculate percent frequency is firstly we look at it at the frequency table, which is 1 divided 25 and times 200. So the total it will be in a percent form. So the answer is 4%. And where we can find 25, 25 is all classes that we can see in a data given. And this step is made continuously until it stops at the number 619 because there are two frequencies there. The way to calculate is also the same, 2 divided 25 and times 200. So the answer is 8%. After done for math table, I just move to the next table, which is English table. The way I calculate is also the same. And I just started with the lowest number, which is 4x6 and ends to the 721. And also there are one line that having two frequency, just like math table before. And the calculation is also the same. And lastly, English table also comes with 100 at the end of the table. That's all for question number 1. Next is how do I solve the question number 2 is by using a midpoint formula, which is lower class limit plus with upper class limit and then divided with 2 to make a histogram chart for math. This histogram chart use midpoint and frequency. In this chart, it can be seen that the highest frequency for math score is midpoint of 667. In addition, the histogram chart for the English score shows that the highest frequency is the midpoint of 605.5 and the lowest frequency is the midpoint of 701.5. Lastly, for the pie chart, the highest gender of the study sample is female and the lowest number is male. That's all from me.
For our assignment, in question 3 we found out that there's a mean, median, mode, and standard deviation for math SAT score and math SAT score and English SAT score. For the maths SAT score, the mean is 15446. The median is 603.64. For the modes is 576.25. And for the standard deviation in math SAT score is 1429.65. And for the English SAT score is the mean is 592.06 and the median is 593.5. For the modes, we found out that 598.78, and for the standard deviation, we found out that 1425.21. And for the question 4, I have calculated that for the data of computer SAT score, I found out that mean is 33.11. The median is 3.34 and for the mode is 3.5. That's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Noatila binti Ahmad Afandi. My metric number H2182381. So my part is question 5 and 6. For question 5, use estimate the distribution of high school GPA and computer GPA. Using the test for estimating the number, right skewed or left skewed distribution. For your knowledge, the shape of distribution divided into two. There are symmetry for uniform, bell shape, or normal, and non-symmetry for skewed to the left or skewed to the right. To do this straightforward distribution, we need to find mean, median, and mode first. So, for high school, mean 3.00, median for high school 3.09, and mode for high school 3.51. It is shown to us skewed to the left. Okay, so next we look for computer. Mean for computer 3.11, median for computer 3.17, and mode for computer 3.01. So it is shown to us skewed to the right. Question C is a calculation the confidence interval for the math and English score. So this is my calculation for confidence interval math and English. Total from calculation for math score is 595.68 and 633.68. While total from calculation for English score is 561.02 and 604.46. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tirusavi Subramaniam. My metric number is H21A3107. Okay, question number 7. Draw a scatter plot comparing the student high school GPA to the overall university GPA. What does the relationship appear to be? This is the example of the data, scatter plot, high school GPA and university GPA. Using this data point, we can plot the high school GPA on the x-axis and the university GPA on the y-axis. Each data point represents a student high school GPA and the corresponding university GPA. The relationship between the high school GPA and university GPA can be assessed based on the overall pattern of the scatter plot. If there is a positive correlation, it will indicate that students with higher high school GPA tend to have higher university GPA. A negative correlation will imply the higher high school GPA are associated with lower university GPA. If the points are scattered randomly with no clear pattern, there may not be strong relationship between two variables. To draw a more accurate scatter plot and analyze the relationship quantitatively, it would be helpful to have the actual data value for all 25 students. Next is question 28. What is the correlation between the student gender and the overall university GPA? To determine the correlation between student gender and the overall university GPA, we need to analyze the data for both variables. Since we provide information for the university GPA, we also have data on the gender of the 25 randomly selected students. To calculate the correlation between the category variable like gender and a continuous variable like university GPA, we can use a point Pearson correlation coefficient. This correlation coefficient measures the strength and direction of the linear relationship between a binary variable, in this case gender, and a continuous variable university GPA. To calculate the point Pearson correlation coefficient, we can assign a numeric value to each gender category. For example, let's say we have assigned 0 for male and 1 for female. Using the data, we can calculate the correlation coefficient using the statistic analysis software for formula. The resulting coefficient will range from -1 to 1, where a value close to 1 indicates a strong positive correlation. Higher university GPA for female, a value close to -1 indicates a strong negative correlation. High university GPA for male, and a value close to 0 indicates no significant correlation. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Sarah binti Hassan. My metric number is H21A2695.
So, I will be discussing question number 9 and 10. For question number 9, what is the correlation between high school GPA and overall university GPA? Okay, in step number 1, we need to do a table. In the table, we need to list the information on high school GPA and overall university GPA from Excel. X represent high school GPA and Y represent university GPA. After we list X and Y in the table, we need to find X square and Y square. After that, we list and put in the table. After we need to find X square and Y square, then we need to multiply X and Y in the table. After completion, we need to add all the total amount for X and we get 75.18. And after that, add the total amount for Y and get 77.71. Then we need to add the total amount of X square and we get 234.18, and the total amount of Y square we get 247.82. Then we need to add the total amount of XY and we will get 239.74. After finding the value in the step number 3, we use Pearson product moment correlation. After using Pearson product moment correlation, we found the answer is 0.849. Okay, that's mean based on this answer, there is very strong positive correlation of 0.849 between high school GPA and overall university GPA. Question number 10. Did the student have higher overall Math SAT score or English SAT scores? For part A, calculate each of these means. So first, we need to use formula mean ungroup data. The formula is sum of x values divide n. So we need to calculate mean Math SAT scores using this formula. 15376 divided by 25, and we will get 615.04. Also, we need to calculate mean English SAT scores using this formula. 146.25 divided by 25, and we will get 585.04. So based on this answer, we can conclude that student had the higher overall Math SAT scores of 615.04 rather than English SAT score of 585.04. Okay, next, part B. Conduct a pair t-test to see if this difference is statistically significant. Step 1, we need to find the mean for Math SAT scores and also the mean for English SAT scores. The mean Math SAT score is 615.04 and the mean English SAT score is 585.04. Then find the n, which is 25. Then in step 2, we need to find the standard deviation for Math SAT score and English SAT scores. The standard deviation for Math SAT score is 52.39 and for English SAT scores is 58.38. Step 3, we need to use testing for two population means. Firstly, we need to do a hypothesis. Secondly, significant level. Thirdly, test statistic using the formula. Fourthly, decision rule. And lastly, decision. So the answer is 1.9123 bigger than 1.96. We check HO and we can conclude that Math SAT scores and English SAT scores mean are not equal, or there is a significant difference between the Math SAT scores and English SAT scores.
A very good morning to sir and my fellow friends. My name is Kabirtana Perempuan K. Viraya and my metric number is H21A2109. So today I'm here to talk about my part in this group assignment, which is question 11 and 12. For question 11, we have to find the t-test. For that, we have to state the hypothesis, which is null hypothesis, and then alternate hypothesis. For the second step, we have to find the mean for both male and female, which is for the male we will got 3.25 and for the female side we will got 3.2. And the next thing is we have to find the standard deviation. Before that, we have to using the simple variation formula to get the answer. After we get the answer, we have to square root it to get the standard deviation, which is 0.51 and 58. And after we get the standard deviation, we have to find the t-test. For the t-test, we have to using the formula which is mean minus hypothesis divide with standard deviation and then square root it with sample. By using this formula, we will get 1.214. The final answer. For the step 4, we have to find the critical value. That is, we have to compare the table value and then the calculated value. If the table value and calculate value, we can make the conclusion. After we get the table value and calculated value by using the standard deviation, by using the significant level 0.05, we can do the step 4, which is conclusion. For conclusion, we will have, we have to see which one, if the calculated value higher than the table value, we have to reject the null hypothesis. For this question, for question 12, we have to calculate the regression equation and correlation coefficient and then correlation determinations. So for that, we have to calculate the total x-axis, which is a math. For that, we will get the total sum up, we will get 15,376. And for the y-axis, which is English SAT, we will get 14,626. And we have to square the x-axis, which is 9,522 and 738, and for the y-axis, which is we have to square root it, 8,638 and 606, and for the final one we have to times x-axis and y-axis, and to the total sum up we will get 9,056 and 651. After that, we have to find the correlation coefficient by using the formula I get, which is 0.831. After we get the correlation coefficient, we have to find the correlation determination, which is 69.09%. After that, we have to do the regression equation. We have to find the B1. We will get that 0.93, and for the B0, we will get 13.05. In total, we have to get Y, we have to plus B0 plus B1
and in bracket we have to calculate the x, which is 13.05 plus 0.93, and in the bracket we have to calculate 604. In equal or in total we will get 574.77.